Hello everyone, welcome. This is Lavender Haze, and before I get into my video, I just need to show off these new plushies I got. I'm so excited! So, I'm a bit of a Click fan, not gonna lie, and my partner decided to get me these guys for my birthday a while ago, and they finally came in. I'm so excited. So, I'm gonna put these guys right here so that they can join us for the video today. Let's put them a little bit higher. Yeah. Except you need to look this way. There we go. Now you can watch. I know that I said I was gonna do a video on shame next, but I've been struggling. So a little tidbit about me. I have PDA, something called pathological demand avoidance. Or, for those of us who have it, we prefer persistent drive for autonomy. It means that when a demand is put on me, my body goes into like a sort of fight or flight response, and it becomes a huge fight with myself, with my own body, just to do the thing. This happens even with things that I really enjoy. The shame video, for instance, I feel that the shame video is very important for everyone to talk about, but now because I told everyone that I was going to do the shame video next, it has been a literal fight with my own body to get me to just write the script for it. And I'm not going to force myself to do it, because it just won't turn out good, so I'm gonna put that on hold for now. Regardless, I think it would be better to share when I have a bit bigger of a following, so that more people can see it, because, like I said, I think it's a very important topic to discuss. So in the meantime, I'm gonna find Reddits or TikToks to go over, such as the one I'm gonna go over today. I found a Reddit post about the passing of a grandmother, and the OP had to find out through non-family, and then wonders if they should even go to the funeral. This one spoke to me personally. My own grandmother passed just a few months ago, and I found out from people that never should have needed to tell me. I'm not going to say who, on the off chance that my family does see this, because I just don't want to put them in the middle of it. They don't need to be put through that. No, quite honestly, in my opinion, it should have been my sister. That was the one that told me. You know, because she knew that I haven't been talking to my parents. And as far as I knew, we were still talking as much as we normally have anyway. Yeah, I guess I was wrong. I did decide to go to the funeral, in my case, and one of the first things my sister said to me when she saw me was that she was surprised to see me, and asked me who told me. I didn't answer the questions. In reality, I really wanted to scream at her, "Why didn't you tell me?" So yeah, when I saw the title of this Reddit post, I knew I had to go over it. It's something that most of us with estranged family will most likely have to go through at some point. And I feel that it's good to hear other people's experiences to help us with our own decisions whenever this may come up for us in our own lives. Now, if you have any experiences with losing a family member while estranged, and if you are willing, please feel free to share in the comments below. Let's dive in! Grandma died. No one told me. So, about 5 to 6 months ago, I posted this about my grandmother and whether or not I'd go to her funeral. Okay. So we're starting a little earlier than just the funeral, even. And wow, that feels very close to home still. Let me check this out. Alright, so starting with this one instead. Is it worth it? I think I already know the answer. So my grandmother has had dementia for years now and is not doing well. I normally don't respond to my mother unless it's something like this involving other family members. It seems like she's proposing I drive to see my grandmother in the text that we'll read in just a second. It seems like she's proposing I drive to see my grandmother 4 states away with my siblings to meet my dad while he's here saying goodbye. The last thing I told my dad was, quite literally, "Floof off with your self-righteous bull poopy," and "Floof you." So, I really, really don't want to see him. I feel bad that my grandmother is dying. It's been years since I've seen her, but she hasn't even remembered who I am for the last 5 years. We were never very close. She clearly disliked me, and now I have vivid hair, piercings, and tattoos. My kind of girl. Or guy. Actually, I'm not sure if it specifies. My kind of person. And would not be recognizable to her even more so. Am I a terrible person if I don't go? I care. I do. And I don't want my siblings to think poorly of me because I love them and want a relationship. But the thought of seeing my father makes me sick to my stomach. I've been no contact for a little over a year, other than a few texts about dying, family members, and funerals. I have never received any apology or even acknowledgement of the wrongdoing I spelled out before going no contact. Sadly typical for a estranged family, eh? I think I know what all of you will say. I just need reassurance that I'm not heartless for not wanting to see my grandmother, who never liked me, wouldn't know who I am, and my father. Alright, so let's read the text message here. Hi, I wanted to let you know Grandma has had a significant decline. She's been on hospice for a couple of months just because she won't get better. They called Dad this week, and they thought she might have had a stroke. She is communicating a little bit, and has still gotten in the wheelchair, but has fallen as well. If you hope to see her before she gets any worse now, is probably the time. Just wanted to let you know. Thank you for letting me know. I cannot afford to go work-wise or money-wise. That's also why I couldn't go to Uncle So-and-so's funeral. I don't think I'm going to make it before she dies. Do you think I could call her? Would she remember? Thank you for responding. I'm not sure calling would be good. Dad's in a meeting, and we're trying to find out the latest status so we can do something that I think has been missed. So moving on. She can't really get anywhere without help, but she's going out in the common area. She is communicating. However, that being said, I don't think a phone call would be good. When she is able to talk to Dad on the phone, it's awful. She berates him and perseverates. She accuses him of stuff. He often has to hang up. I'm not saying she'd do that to you, but I'd hate for that to happen and that be your last memory. Okay. That feels very manipulative to me. I know I do this on occasion with my own friends and family just because I don't want to hurt them, and it's something I'm working on because they are the ones who get to choose this. OP is the one who gets to decide if it's a memory they want to have or not OP's mother. The nurse told Dad if it was her relative, she would be okay waiting until next weekend, which is when he was going. Again, as we know too well, there's no guarantee. However, that being said, there is money for you kids to see her. Bribing. Okay. Flights are insane. I would suggest that you talk to so-and-so about taking a road trip up. We could probably cover a rental car and hotel. Just an idea. I also can't guarantee, but she's been a whole lot better in person up until now. I'll leave it up to you guys to decide. Let me know what you think, and we can make arrangements. Yeah, it sounds like she's definitely trying to get you to see your dad again. As for whether or not you should go, well, that would be 100% up to you. But my own personal experience with dementia, I'll admit it's not very broad. I have a grandfather who has dementia, and I saw him very briefly, and he didn't know who I was, and it was very hard to see. And I definitely prefer to have the memory of him from when I was younger. But the good thing is I still have those memories. I can still remember my papa when we were out by the lake with all of my family on that side of the family all getting together, and we were a big group. That's the papa I remember. Even though the last time I saw him was with dementia, where he hardly remembered me. So I just want you to know that I wouldn't have blamed you if you didn't want to go see your grandma while she had dementia, and on top of all of that, she didn't even really like you to begin with, so you guys didn't really have a very good relationship. So yeah, wow, complicated situation. If I was in their shoes, I probably wouldn't have went for my own sanity. I'm kind of curious what some of the commenters said. You're not a terrible person if you don't go. I didn't go to either of my parents' funeral. They weren't good people, and I didn't think attending would accomplish anything. Ask yourself what you hope to get out of this visit, and then ask yourself what you expect to realistically happen. Listen to your brain. On this one, you owe yourself peace. Honestly, I agree with that. Ask yourself what you hope to get out of it, and what you expect to realistically happen. That is definitely very important to go through, because you don't want to get your hopes up too high when subconsciously you know what will most likely happen in reality. Alright, and Stabby Kitten. That's cute, Stabby Kitten. Protect your peace. I'm in the same boat. So many of us are. My grandma had a stroke and is now hateful as sin. I had the opportunity to see her in the hospital and declined because I didn't want that to be my last memory. Hold on to the good memories and let go of the bad. Grieve however you need to and move on. Also, don't ever let them pay for anything or drive you anywhere. That puts you in a very vulnerable position. Sending you hugs. Yeah, I agree. It really does put you in a vulnerable position if you let your family pay for things. I was put in that situation with a Disney trip, and I was stuck there for over a week. I think it was 10 days. Oof. The only way I kept my sanity was by spending every other day at the B&B that we rented, because there was no way I was going to spend all of that time with them. And I was lucky that I even had that option. A lot of the times when you're being financially covered by your parents, they dictate the schedule. Yeah, you don't want to be stuck there. Alright, we're gonna go back to the last post and see what OP has to say about the passing of her grandmother. I can already feel this being a hard one. Well, today it happened. I got a text from my partner's mother a few hours ago saying sorry for my loss. Not one of my 3 siblings, not an aunt, nor my father, who is not blocked. My last remaining grandparent is dead, and not a single family member could be bothered to tell me. It's been hours since my partner's mom texted, and still nothing from anyone. I recently blocked my mother, who I'm sure would have reached out after she called me on Christmas. I did not answer. The message she left was nice, but completely fake and syrupy. My mother posted this creative writing garbage on Facebook. She hijacked a post about her mother-in-law's passing to talk about how shitty her year was going. I'm so revolted. I don't know if I'll ever talk to my brothers again, and I don't know if I'll talk to my sister, who I was the closest to until they moved out of my parents' house. I already decided I'm not going to the funeral. Maybe a part of being estranged is not hearing when people you love die, but I regularly see and talk to my sister and brothers, and I will at least text each other happy birthday. I know every child, even in the same family, has different parents, but I am shocked that none of them have reached out. Boy, do I know how that feels. Again, I'll talk about it later. I am so angry and sad. My parents are irredeemable, and I'm really considering my options with my brothers. My sister has been updating me the last couple of days that she was unwell and had days left, but I'm in such disbelief that the person I found this information out from is not related to me and lives across the country. Yeah. That's the worst. I am so sorry that happened to you, OP. Really makes you feel thought about, eh? I swear talking about sensitive topics makes me sneeze. Alright, so let's see what it is that her mom creatively wrote. Oof, I'm not looking forward to this, I'm not gonna lie. When it rains... ... To say 2026 has come roaring in, not like some lion, but a screaming, fire-breathing behemoth from the deepest depths, is not an exaggeration. At this age, I have learned that turning the page on a calendar has absolutely no bearing whatsoever, ushering in a clean slate, and so this January, my friends, is no exception. I have not personally posted, but appreciate my sister for doing it for me. I especially appreciate the prayers and well wishes. The last couple of weeks have been physically up and down. I'm definitely on the road to recovery. The biggest concern up until this point has been the ability to keep my upcoming surgery date for DBS, deep brain stimulator, removal and revision. Thankfully, it's looking positive. Those surgeries are set to take place on February 10th, 11th at Emory. Monday night, the above-aforementioned behemoth reared its ugly head again. Steve was called and told his mom did not have long to live. Thankfully, we were able to drop everything and head north, arriving in Indiana in time to have one last sweet day with his precious mom. She has been suffering with dementia for several years. Plans are for our kids to head north for a funeral this weekend. However, as our southern neighbors know, evidently the storm of the century is headed straight for the south. As you can imagine, the wrenches this has thrown into all the plans are giant monkey ones. I'm talking industrial machinery kinds of wrenches. Would you please pray for wisdom in making decisions for travel, our dog's care back home, and mostly for Steve and Shelley as they say goodbye to their mom and work through all the details. Thankfully, we serve and love a gracious God who knows exactly what's going on and orders our steps. Well, yeah. All I got to say is... Look, I understand that this post is about the loss of a loved one, but holy crap, this feels like, oh, woe is me. Again, I am really sorry, OP, that this is your mother. And I am so sorry that you weren't told by anybody in your family. That just... oh, that would really upset me too. I kind of know how you feel. However, I did have family members tell me, so I was lucky in that regard. I'm not completely abandoned by my family, as I imagine you must feel. So yeah, I definitely don't blame you for not wanting to go to the funeral. I don't think I would want to be around people who abandoned me either. Let's see what the comments said about this situation, because I have a feeling that people will agree with me, but let's see. My deepest condolences for your loss. It's really bad that no one told you and found out from someone not related to you. I really feel for you. I had the same happen a couple months ago. It hurts. They are in the wrong, and I'm sorry you're going through this. It shouldn't have been like this, and you deserve better. Yeah. My condolences for your loss. But dude, the same thing happened to me at the end of last year. I didn't even know, and no one tried to call me. I even posted it on this sub as well. I unfortunately did not have a good relationship with my grandmother in the last decade. It took me a bit to come to grips with it. See, so many people go through this. it's so sad. Just because someone is estranged from the family, it doesn't mean that you get to withhold information like that, in my opinion. Let's do one more comment. I had a similar thing last year. I found out my nan had passed from a friend that works with my cousin. And then she showed me the obituary, and it named down the great-grandbabies, but neglected my brother and I. Golden Child's son, my dad, was to be believed as the victim in my parents' divorce. So we got cast out of the family assembly at 9 and 4 years old. Some families are super poopy, when you really deserve condolences at this time. It upsets me with how often this happens. I have my own experience with this very same thing with my own grandmother. It just happened just a few months ago. One day I got a text from a cousin, and they told me that my grandmother was in the hospital and that it didn't look good. And I didn't know what I was gonna do. I was thinking really hard if I really wanted to go and visit her in the hospital, at least see her one more time while she was here. But then not even a week later, I think it was, I get another text from my cousin. My grandma had passed away. And I waited, because I fully expected my own sister to tell me, until I finally got a text from one other person letting me know. And I knew in that moment, just because of who it was, that my sister wasn't going to tell me. That realization sucked. I'd already suspected that my sister didn't care about me, but that kind of confirmed it, because, like I said before, I thought we were speaking. I thought we were on normal speaking terms. But she couldn't be bothered to even tell me about my own grandmother passing. After that, it was a really difficult decision whether or not I should actually go to the funeral or not. I never really had much of a relationship with my grandma to begin with, so I almost didn't go. I almost didn't put myself through that, because if I went, that would mean seeing my parents. I decided to go for me. And honestly, I'm glad I went. For me, it turned out that it helped me realize a few things, such as who is there for me, and, well, yeah. Honestly, when I got to the funeral, I almost turned around. I saw everybody and I was so scared to go out to them because I had no idea what my parents, specifically my mom, might have said to any of them. And, I don't know, it feels like my family still cares about me, my extended family. At least they pretended to be. If they're not, I don't really know, to be honest. It's hard for me to trust people now because of my mother. But the moment my family saw me, when I say my family, I mean my parents, that, just looking back on it, it feels like a movie. But I'm proud of myself and how I responded to it. So my dad finally saw my partner and I standing around waiting for the funeral to start, and he was all of a sudden like, "Hey!" Because he recognized us all of a sudden. He wasn't expecting to see me, so he was surprised and excited to see me. And as soon as he saw me, he opened his arms wide and I fell into a hug with him. It was the most wonderful feeling I had in a long time because I miss him so much. I missed him so much. That hug was the most amazing thing in the world, and I got to whisper to him how much I love him and how much I missed him. There's nothing else in the world for that minute, because he went to pull away, but I refused to let go. Oh, I miss my dad. My dad and I finally parted, and he stepped away. It was almost like a curtain opening for my mother. Because as soon as he stepped away, there she was, standing there, just I can't even bring up her face. All I remember is darkness. I am in my 30s, and I was terrified of that woman. The second I saw her, I went into freeze. And all she could do was look at me and ask, well, do I get a hug? Well, first of all, not when you speak to me that way. Man, I really wish I said that to her. But I was in the freeze response, so the best I could get out was, I don't know. And she shoots back at me, no, because she clearly expected me to say no. So I emphasize the don't again. I don't know. And then she sniffs and walks away. Not another word. And then after that, every time Dad came to talk to me, she would go in the opposite direction. Absolutely refused to even be near me. But no, looking back now, it kind of screams emotional immaturity, doesn't it? Like, she was acting just like I would have in high school if I was avoiding a boy that I was, like, having a crush on or whatever. That's exactly how it feels if my mom was acting just like a high schooler. Well, the things that we learn when we're talking about our past, eh? But yeah, even... I don't know, this story is pretty scattered because I didn't script it. And my brain is scattered, so you finally get to see what it's like in my brain when I'm trying to discuss things without a script. I kind of suck at it, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else, really. It was just everybody was surprised to see me, and including my sister, like I said. She came up to me and was all surprised to see me, like, oh, who told you? Oh, I didn't know you were gonna be here. Yeah. Well, the last thing I can say about this is, I am glad that I went. I'm glad that I saw what everybody was like. I'm glad to know now who is pretty much a complete loss now, and who I might have a chance with. So far it looks like I might have a chance with Dad. We'll see. Oh, but the family drama. OP, as you can see, you are definitely not alone. Anyone else out there going through estrangement and have something like this happen? If you're comfortable, please share your own experience in the comments. If not, what are your fears in this area? Maybe we can help each other out and support one another. I feel like this is a very important video for estranged offspring to see, mainly to know that they're not alone, but also to find a community of supportive people. My channel is still teeny tiny, so I could use all the help that I can get. Like, subscribe, and most importantly, share this video wherever you can. The more engagement I can get with this video, the more that it will be seen. Let's let everyone going through estrangement know that they aren't alone. Until next time, with love. Dusty, you startled me. Oh, careful. Ugh. You gonna help me out today? Turn it around like so. What? The sun didn't even change. Why did the lighting change? The fuck? Okay, that was weird. This thing just likes to be a little tipsy. It's probably gonna bother me now. Anyway. I know that I said I was going to do a video on shame next. I have a feeling you guys heard that. Dusty! Oh, really? What are you saying? Oh, there goes my canvases. Oh, can you guys hear that? why she's so big. Mrs. Dusty. Oh, I just love you so much. Don't we get major aggression with her? Okay. Are we taking a kitty break?